Welcome back to Marlowe House Presents. I'm Andrew Marlowe.
I'm Monica Marlowe.
I am the Beastmaster.
You need a ferret or two.
Oh.
I don't know why you didn't think about
Cat
that.
snakes.
I don't know why you didn't think about that. I mean, you're like, I'm going to have a hawk. I mean, you could have had, little
Cat
furry
snakes.
rodents, cat snakes. But no, you want a bird.
I like that. Cat snakes.
It's a bear. What kind of bear? Owl bear? No, it's just
Says
a bear.
bear. It's a char bear.
It's a char bear.
So,
Char bear stare. Oh.
Oh. Too soon.
so for our last episode, we went long, really long.
That's because you wouldn't shut up.
I know.
Okay, so just as long as you know it's your fault.
All my fault.
It is all your fault. I mean, we were all sitting
But-
over here crossing our legs, putting our knees
Kinda
together, but
reminded
it's
me-
okay.
I was trying to keep an eye on it, and
You obviously did a terrible job.
terrible job of it.
All right, so let's finish.
So let's wrap this up. So, without further ado,
We go back into town the next morning.
you go back into town the next morning, and you taking the girl with you, or is it just the two of you going in?
Well, I guess we could take her in because she needs to tell the police or the sheriff, whatever,
Constable.
Right.
whatever he is.
And actually, you can take him in with you too,
Okay,
because he was also uninjured.
yeah, we'll take him in too. His other two guys are gonna have to stay out there though, so we know that everybody's been paid for.
Right. So everybody kind of, when you walk in, they all kind of like slump a little bit. You can see that they sag.
Well, how many times are they going to pay for this? This is crazy. This is
What the hell kind
bad.
of curse is this?
This is terrible.
Well, I mean, you were mentally tired, and it appears that until it's
I
paid
went and
off.
picked up five cows.
Yeah, it appears that until it's all cleared out, everybody keeps carrying their same injuries.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. Five
So-
cows wasn't enough. That's really sad.
It's clearly you knotted everything up, and given the fact that it has to pull it like in debt, you're probably paying some sort of interest
Okay.
effect too.
This
There's
is
probably
bad.
some power bleed. So at this point, you're not certain how much it's going to probably run over. But since you have also got understanding mystical and magical things,
Mm-hmm.
and you've had most of the night to think about it, you're beginning to think that this might be... All right, so first of all, Philosopher's Stones are legendary,
Mm-hmm.
but they are usually small.
Okay.
And
So this
they do
is the
things-
philosopher's boulder.
Kind of, yes.
Okay.
And is probably one of the most horrible weapons that could have ever been wielded during war.
Yeah.
Your side gets slaughtered, they get back up, and just walking into the presence of the enemy starts killing the enemy.
Yeah, but it would also raise all of their dead too.
Maybe. Depends on how you used it.
Oh, that's true. I guess you gather all your people up and
And if you had a way to contain it,
If you're dead, what's the first thing you do besides get back up?
you what?
Well, if you're dead, what's the first thing you do besides get back up? You get raised.
Well, yeah, but here's my point. When soldiers die on the field, they don't self-segregate on the field. You would have to collect all of your dead first away from the enemy before you unleash the power of the stone and then send them back in. So you would have to gather them all up. And that's something that takes a long time to do, is what I'm getting at.
Right, so if you've got enemy soldiers,
Uh-huh.
sure, and your own men are getting back up. Enemy soldiers get back up as well.
Well, that's what I just said. He said no. You would.
They're going back.
that's what he said.
Oh, I see.
They're going back. They're
to
taking that
their.
curse
They're
with
going
them.
back to their people too. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Which would also be...
yeah, would be
That
appropriate.
would
That's
also be devastating.
Yeah, it would still leave enemy alive though. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
And it appears, from what you've seen, so long as uninjured people are exposed to the radiance at the same time as the injured people are, they become immune to the killing portion. Because otherwise, you guys should have been dead too.
Oh yeah. I mean, you mean this time too? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you should have been dead when you came in contact with the people who've been raised.
Right. Well, we actually benefited from it though.
Right, but you
So
would
we
have
really
to, you would
weren't.
have to guess that even if you didn't benefit much from it or not at all, it probably bestows some immunity to the curse effect.
Yeah. All right. So we go back into town.
Thing definitely qualifies as a WMD.
Yes. And we meet with the sheriff. We hope they let us talk to the sheriff. Oh, is he dead? No, he's not dead.
He is not dead. He's the one who yelled at you yesterday.
The train personnel, they are not doing well.
No.
Which is okay because there won't be any trains coming through in a while. Oops. What's the sheriff's name?
We'll go with Andy.
I hope you like sleeping on the couch.
Here, send those
Howdy.
down.
What are you gonna make him change the name? Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm buying physical skills.
Oh, okay. I don't have enough yet.
Howdy.
No. Absolutely not.
What?
No.
I don't understand. No what?
I have to listen to him. I'm not listening to you. He at least does them good. Enough. Sometimes. All right, fine. You talk to him. I'm not doing this.
It's my collection of hee-haw.
I didn't do howdy. I just said howdy.
Okay. Oh, I'm
Nope.
sitting on it. There we go. Oops. Gosh, I hope I didn't damage it.
So, Sheriff, this fella here is actually the source of all this trouble.
He murdered this little girl's father and stole this item.
And did you bring it into town too?
We tell him where it's at,
Okay.
but that we're not sure it's safe to bring in.
Okay.
And then we give him the quick rundown of what happened and why we didn't bring it into town, because we weren't sure if it was
Cursed or not?
cursed or not, because it sure seems that way.
And what do you have to say for yourself? And he looks at the guy. It's like, I don't know what they're talking about. I was just riding on this train and this gorilla guy showed up and started tearing people apart, tearing the train apart. The whole thing crashed. And then they had this thing in a box and it flashed and all the dead people came back to life. He glares at you.
Sheriff,
I'm not swinging from a rope for none of these people.
he came to us. He paid us this bag's worth of stuff to bring this box, the box in the stone. We didn't even know it was in it. The box in the stone back. He offered to pay us. There's 2 more men out at the train that are he hired to help bodyguard him. His train car is back out in the wilderness, and there are still 2 collectible, the caboose and the freight train car that we were in.
And he looks at the sheriff. He's like, "Sheriff, look, seriously, this is the most convenient story. I didn't do any of these things. I don't know why they're trying to make me hang for this mess here, but it is not my fault. And it's very convenient that their only witnesses are back there at the train place where nobody can go question them without having their necks snapped."
Does the little girl say anything? I mean, she saw him kill them, didn't she?
She kind of coughs and looks at the sheriff and says, "Sir, these two have the right of the story. This one, he shot my paw. And I have no reason to lie about this. And she starts to cry. You can see, the tears just start running down her face. She doesn't like get loud, but they just start running out of her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Her chin quivers a minute, and she looks back at you and she says, "Maybe we should go." She's kind of breathing kind of funny. She looks back at the sheriff. He did what they say. And then, as he said, for no apparent reason, this gorilla man showed up. And he did wreck the train. And he did kill all those people. And then the thing that my paw dug out of the ground, it brought them all back. It brought them all back. And she looks at you again. We need to go.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Gorilla Man's gonna be wanting that armor back.
Yeah, and he's gonna be wanting that rock too.
And then she looks back at the sheriff. This bastard just needs to hang. But it's not precisely his fault that these people are dead in your town. But it is his fault that
your dad is dead, and that's what we brought him here for.
She nods. But if we go now, we might still have time.
Yes.
She wipes her eyes.
Yeah, I know that. We should have brought that in with us. Didn't think about that.
Couldn't be sure.
Well, that's true. Because he was saved. All right, it's probably gone by the time we get back, but let's go.
You get out there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of people standing around. You do see a handful of what look to be gunfighters.
Okay.
At awkward angles, with their guns drawn.
Okay.
Like they came up to like rob your people.
All right.
Their horses and themselves are all dead.
Okay.
Bad doings, fellas.
Yeah. Is the stone still here?
Stone is still here.
All right.
Check their saddlebags.
Hmm?
Check their saddlebags.
There isn't much in them. Some
Here
feed
to
for the
refill.
horses and
Here to refill.
Yeah.
they saw easy pickings, figured they would come in and get some supplies, and
Guns.
All right.
Take their guns and ammunition.
okay.
Yeah. He can get, and she's right. He can get up here too. We're gonna
She's
have
like-
to take this. We're gonna have to take the stone on.
We have to go.
Yeah, we do.
She's like grabbing the chest, starts dragging it back up the train
Okay.
tracks.
Okay. We can carry that. Is she taking it back toward the town we were just at?
No,
Just
Oh.
taking it on.
just taking it back the way you came.
That's what we
Why?
said.
No, she's taking
back
it back
the
to
way.
her house.
Yes.
She's not taking it back to the town we were at. She's taking it all the way back to her house.
No, I said that's what you were saying, was she was taking it back the way we came.
Yeah. Why are you taking it back to your house?
It brought all of them back.
Yeah.
If we hurry, it might not be too late.
Oh, honey. It's too late.
It might not be. We have to try. She drags it a little bit further before, falling down.
How long have we been gone since we have reason to believe he died?
Well, given that most of it was a train ride,
Uh-huh.
it's probably at least a couple of days back. Because you'd be doing it mostly on foot.
So it'll be at least a week since he died.
Sweetheart, when did he shoot your da?
It would have been like the day before you were hired.
Okay. So by the time we get there, it'll be about a week.
That's about a week out.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the stone recharges by then, you can see the toll it's taken for bringing all these folks back.
But that was a lot of people. This is just one. It's gotta...
It's one, but it's been a week.
I don't know that he's going to be able to be brought back.
We have to try. You can't just leave him there.
There were people who suffered massive injuries who did not come back.
It's because they were still suffering them. They came back and they probably died from the new injuries. Gotta try.
Things happen to bodies. I mean...
You know what lives out in that area? Coyotes, bears, vultures. I'm willing to bet they didn't bury your da.
I did. Not very deep, but I did. And she collapses into you and sobs.
This thing isn't a miracle, sweetie. It's a weapon.
Yeah. And it's not one that we can use when we want to, I don't think. I mean, people move on after they die. And he's not been in his body for a long time now, as far as that goes. I know he didn't want to leave you, but I'm afraid of what might happen if you brought him back now.
She just nods, sobbing. We had it right there. She kicks the box, beats on it a couple of times.
We don't
Why
even...
didn't you do something? And she's screaming at the box. You could have done something.
That's why I don't think it would have worked. It was right there, and if it was enough to trigger it, it would have triggered. But it's definitely darker now. It was glowing more before.
It's a little bit brighter than it was yesterday.
Okay. I mean, I'm afraid he'll come back half dead still. I mean, that would be bad.
You want a zombie apocalypse? That's how you get a zombie apocalypse.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. That's how you get a zombie apocalypse.
Strangely enough, the living ones are the zombies.
Yep. All right.
So.
Yeah, but this time we don't leave the rock behind. We'll need to take it with us.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we can find in Colin's railroad car that might incriminate him further?
You like search the railroad car.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
You find some letters that basically say that he's going to try to sell this thing off. He's trying to arrange a buyer.
Okay.
So I mean, you can solidly do that. You can see that there were train tickets purchased, and there's like train information that would take him back to one of the major metropolises in the east.
We'll just keep those. We're gonna need them anyway.
Well, no, that was how he got this car, and
Oh, okay.
so that would take him back east. But it also means that that's probably all the information that your guerrilla alchemist needed to track down to figure out what train was going where.
Ah, so we don't want to get on that train because he'll be
Well,
expecting.
that train is wrecked.
Oh, this train. Oh, well, yeah, but they have tickets to take them on further.
No, that was the tickets that would take that train and that car. all the way back.
Oh. So
Basically,
now
it's-
we won't
you
be
see-
able to
right.
use it because
You can basically, you've got the paper trail that shows
I see.
you've got this half of that paper trail. So chances are the other half of that paper trail with the railroad is what the alchemist,
The
that
guerrilla
was-
alchemist
the guerrilla
found.
alchemist
Okay.
used to figure out.
Gorilla Grodd.
No, not Gorilla God.
Hey,
It's
you wanted to
trademarked.
name the sheriff Andy.
Full monkey alchemist.
Who was the full monkey alchemist? Ching 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 ching.
That's a different kind of alchemy.
Different kind of monkey.
Yes.
Little wind up kind.
Yeah, no. You haven't watched Full Metal Alchemist yet. That's
I
how
only
they
watched
do.
a little bit
That's how they do their.
I
That's
know.
how they activate their alchemy.
because their alchemy is even more like magic than the one I'm using here.
Mm-hmm. It is. Ours is more
Life
alchemy than
transmutations are bad
alchemy.
news.
Yeah.
Well, this is a combination of like transmutation magic and brewing and item magic.
All right, so we head back to the sheriff this time with the box, and we gotta get everybody out of the wilderness because they're at risk out there. There's nothing at this point that stands between them and the gorilla guy coming back.
Now, as long as
So-
he don't have the box, the gorilla guy will probably leave them alone.
But he doesn't necessarily know. He'd have to be watching, and we don't know if he knows. The last thing I'm going to do is leave that rock out there.
Okay. But
So,
also bringing them in is dangerous because there's nowhere to
all right.
contain them, unless
Well, that's what I want to ask him. Is there anywhere where there might be known bandits like the ones that just attacked them? Or, I mean, at this point, there's
it's
nothing
like
we can
he's
do.
Like there is a he's like there. He kind of like
I mean, I'm
he kind
point
of like
blank with
chews his
him.
lip for a minute. He's like, there's a not so much a bandit, but there's a house I could send you to, and you can see that he's sort of like processing, whether this is murder and if it's justified or not.
Well, I tell him. I said, look, this isn't something I ask lightly, but these innocent people cannot return until a blood price has been paid. It can be someone's herd if they're willing to give up their herd.
He's
It
like-
can
He's
be
like, I know a mansion where they can put up.
okay. There's just a mansion out here in the wild.
There's a man and his hired guns.
All right. And we don't even know if they can be killed again.
And they're shouldn't send you there, but we
Bad
haven't
people.
been able to.
Bad people hiding behind a law.
Bad people hiding behind money, and money is the law.
Out here it is. All right. Where's it at?
It gives you directions. It's about half a day ride out of town.
Okay, well, we are not going to be riding. We're going to be walking. So it's going to be a day's walk.
I don't know, for your walk. Well, your walk is about the same as a ride.
Yeah, but I can't leave the people.
No, you can't. So it'll be a little bit longer.
Okay. I wish we could put this rock somewhere safe that we didn't have to lug it around with us.
I know. The trouble is, best bet would be to bury it.
I know, but we don't know if he's watching us. I mean, we have no way of knowing if he's watching. Was his armor still there? Because we took his armor back.
Yeah, you've got his armor still.
We've got his armor. I mean, we have no way of knowing how he could watch us, if he could be scrying on us or anything.
He said lycanthropy alchemy.
Yeah, so does silver work on that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't
does
know. I don't
silver
know
work
either.
on that with an 18?
Properly prepared silver probably does disrupt some of the
magic.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the other possibility, he's got to brew some kind of concoction.
To reactivate.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say.
Well, actually, the
I
runes
don't know enough. The runes were already on him,
tattooed.
so he just has to activate. He should be able to
But
activate
it
them at
probably
will.
requires him to sacrifice another animal.
No, so he'll have to find another bear or gorilla to get his size. It'll have to be a large animal. Or he could, find a horse. Horses are good for killing, I hear. All right. So what we'll do is we will plan to go out there at night when they are least expecting us, and most of them will be sleeping, and then we'll just sneak up on the house. We won't have to get too close, and they'll start going. So then they'll all wake up screaming, and hopefully we won't get shot and killed again.
So you're basically
This is like a terrible plan.
Sneak up on the house with all your people and just hope everybody dies.
Yeah. Well, I don't see that we can really do anything else. I mean, I'm not gonna...
Glory.
Everybody, real quiet.
So this is how you sneak. Well, yeah, I mean, there's gonna be screaming, so eventually they're gonna figure out what's going on. Hopefully they die before they do that, though. I feel so dirty.
So for the ease of this, we're just going to basically narrate this whole thing.
Thank you.
So you approach the house with your large group of people. Now, fortunately, everybody's asleep for the most part. There are a couple of watchmen on duty. But as you guys approach and they kind of go to give you their warnings, and then they suddenly find themselves, twisting and cavorting and falling,
screaming in
pain, that is quickly silenced.
Breaking their neck will do that.
Because the ones that don't die quickly, you can finish off.
Okay.
Because that's a mercy. So you guys drop them pretty quickly. The people who are traveling with you are horrified that they're basically being asked to do this.
Well, they don't have a choice. I mean,
Right.
We pretty much lay it out. Look, you can never rejoin human society until the unintentional blood price is paid for your life being restored. So you can choose to do this however you like, but I'm going to recommend that you
Right. So
something's got to die for you.
You guys lead them into the house, and as you approach the house, you hear bones breaking. You're standing like on the front porch, and you can hear bones breaking. There's some screams that are quickly silenced, and then there's moaning from one of the upstairs rooms.
Is this like a rancher?
Eventually goes out. It's like a 3-story.
I mean, like the guy that we're coming up on his house. Is he like a rancher?
He is a rancher and oil baron and mech baron.
Ooh.
I like that last part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever the
You see several armored mech suits, that double over as well.
If he's a rancher, maybe he has a herd of animals and we can just go ahead and take care of this.
that's kind of my thought, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot we
Whatever
can do at
whatever
this
the people
point.
don't cover, send them out into the field
Yeah, this is
with
bad.
the cattle.
This is terrible. I hate Andrew. He's a horrible human being. Oh, he can hear me.
The world can hear you.
Well, only the ones who care to tune in. All right. So,
It's not wrong, no.
yes, it is.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Oh, that you're terrible?
I'm horrible.
Yes, you are. You're a horrible human being. You'll be punished for this. So anyway, so we head through the building.
And it doesn't take very long to basically subdue everybody. Even the ones that come out with armor that would have been a threat
Mm-hmm.
go down instantly. And you find that the armor
Mm-hmm.
is not immune. The spirit connections are severed.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So now we have a bunch of useless mech armor.
Strong terracotta, but otherwise essentially useless.
No.
On the upside, it does mean that you've got replacement plates and things that you could use to fix your mechs.
Yay. I don't know what we're going to do with like
Which, you
a
don't
half dozen mechs, but okay.
you don't probably need that many, but I mean, you could, give some repairs and things to the ones that you do have.
Okay. All right. Well, now we need to start figuring out. I'm assuming that there's some like small animals, like chickens and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they're dead.
They're dead. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll head out to one of the grazing fields in the middle of the night. Scare all the cows to death.
Start bringing the cows by the house.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, I guess so. I don't really know. Whatever's the easiest way to do that.
I can start herding them that way.
Okay.
Okay. So, are you going to bring like the whole herd, or are you just doing it like?
Well,
ones
let's
and
bring.
twos at first. Or
Well, no, I would say bring them in and
Bring the whole herd.
Yeah, because we
'Cause
need.
if this is a matter of life and or mass, bringing the whole herd in theory plus the people that we just went through, it may be
You're
enough.
hoping.
The hope is that it's enough.
So you have a mess of dead cows now.
Yeah, all of them.
All of them. The last couple.
At least there won't be no mosquitoes.
The last couple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there are no bugs.
Yeah,
No insects.
but the last cows.
As a matter of fact, that means that things probably won't break down as fast either.
Yeah, I know, because there'll be no bacteria or anything. This will be gross. So the last couple cows,
The
though.
last couple cows take a lot longer to die.
Okay. So, like, they're not taking as much damage.
Right.
Check the stone.
Is
It's
it?
brighter than it was the day before?
Oh, okay. Is it brighter than it was when we looked at it the last time?
Not the first time, but it is brighter than the last time you looked at it the day before.
Okay.
So at least it's a slow recharge.
Oh, that's what it looks like. All right. Is there anything else in the area that we can try
You're
out?
also pretty certain as you watch it kind of get to its brightness, you're also pretty certain it may not have been quite, it may have been more effective than normal. It's hard to say. You're not certain what's normal for this thing.
I was going to say, how would I know that? But okay.
But it is possible that if it's been sitting dormant for hundreds of years, it may have built up more of a charge, or it may have reached its maximum capacity. It's hard to say which.
Okay.
Maximum capacity might be reached in just a few days.
Bright side.
No, there's no bright side to this.
Oh, but there is.
What?
If his alchemy requires a sacrifice, he's killing anything it gets close to.
That's true.
can't call
Because
him
he was
spirit.
dead. He's not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to fix himself for a while.
Mm-hmm.
No, that if there was a single silver lining from this, that's it.
That's why you haven't seen him again. I was solidly on that page.
All right. Is there anything else living in the area that we can attempt to sacrifice to see if we're done?
Give me a spot roll.
Okay.
Perception check.
17.
Morning comes, and you're feeling very
We'll
frustrated.
probably
because,
move the bodies out so we
well,
can
yeah,
sleep
you
here.
guys have probably moved all the bodies out of the house, but you're feeling very frustrated and you're very tired,
Oh yeah.
and it takes a minute, probably a minute longer than it really should have, but you realize for the first time in days, you hear a bird.
Oh yay! We have birds.
There are birds in the yard,
Close enough that we can hear them.
close enough that you can hear them.
All right.
If you hadn't brought in the entire herd, it probably wouldn't have been.
I know now there's a bunch of dead cows out there that someone's gonna have to take care of, but it isn't gonna be us. But while we're here,
Really
it's-
preserved for a
No,
while.
this is now the haunted mansion.
yeah. But while we're here, we might as well look around. Anything good for taking? I mean, we're here.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we get the rest of that cash we were promised.
That's our only
There's
option.
plenty of money.
Wow. Okay.
We will deal with exactly what kind of bank that is somehow
Later.
Later.
We've got a bunch of blank spirit stones now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh. Yay! I get them both.
Discoveries.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you 2 more for getting through the worst of things.
Because you're still a jerk. All right, I'm going to buy something while I can.
You committed mass murder.
We didn't commit mass murder, you did. We just had to deal with the fallout.
You asked where the bandits were.
Well, I mean, I didn't say I wasn't a cold-hearted person.
Now we're monstrous local heroes.
Yes.
You are the monstrous local heroes.
They're gonna name us. They're gonna name this town after us, after all, and sing a song, and they're gonna put a monument up in our names.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure
But
they're
it's
not.
The monument's going to go in the post office. It says wanted, dead or alive. Crimes against nature.
It wasn't my fault.
So as you guys kind of wrap things up and wrangle your people, start getting them headed back towards town, what are you doing with the stone?
Oh, we're still lugging its sorry ass around. Could have been at a barbecue. We just got this tentacles later.
We got to find a way to destroy this thing.
Well, we gotta find something. I don't know that we can. How easy is it to destroy artifacts like this? Typically. Well,
Not-
here's the other thing. If we destroy it, it might discharge, and then we could be really screwed. Not really. We
Yeah.
don't know.
You're not certain. There are a number of things that, I mean, maybe if you took it up really high and you dropped it off a cliff, it might shatter, but then you might have a bunch of little ones.
That still work.
Not as effectively, but they still work. Or maybe they work in unexpected and terrible ways.
I still would like to go back east. Surely I know somebody who would be interested in this. That
Oh yeah, you probably do know a few people, particularly in the military.
Well, that's not who I want to give it to, though. They're not the people I'm thinking about.
At this point, you're not entirely certain that you would necessarily trust anybody.
I know.
Because most of the people you know aren't tremendously trustworthy on something like this.
Okay, well, we make sure that the kid gets some money.
Okay.
And we can get her back to her aunt. Because...
She can go back to her aunt incredibly wealthy with what you've got here.
Yeah. And,
Hell, you can pretty much give everybody who went to the ordeal with the train some money and still come out ahead.
I have some ideas, but I'd like to actually think about them as a player and as a character before we decide. I mean, I know that sounds terrible, but I don't think this is something I can decide this evening. I know what I want to do, but it's going to require a lot more.
What do you want to do?
Well, I want to go find somebody that I want to talk about who I might know in my past that maybe I had learned my adept abilities from that I would trust.
Okay.
Actually, I want to buy a mentor.
Okay. You want that instead?
Yeah.
I believe that is 3 instead of 4. Or 2 instead of 4. I'm going to give you 1 back.
Okay.
We'll adjust it accordingly if need be.
Okay. I want to buy a mentor. And that's where I want to go.
All right. Do you know anything about this mentor yet?
This mentor is more hermit-like.
He's obsessed with the iron wind and experiments on children.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's your mentor.
And that's a different
That's
game.
That's a different mentor.
Different game.
Oh,
Different
that's
world.
my bad.
Different. Oh.
So
And nobody wants that mentor.
No. All right. So this mentor, is somebody that I've known since I was very young, and we aren't in as close a contact now because I did join the military during the most recent skirmish because of my highly weaponizable abilities.
Okay. And what did your mentor think of joining the military?
They were not impressed. They really felt like
It was an abuse of your power?
No, they were just sad that I mean, I didn't really have a lot of control over the powers that I ended up with. That those were kind of like more innate abilities that became more pronounced as I studied as an adept. And so it wasn't like an intentional thing that I ended up electrically charged. But the military actually heavily recruited me, and they felt that I should have turned them down, but I was also very poor at the time, and it wasn't that they are angry, but they were disappointed. So, when I left, it wasn't like on the worst of terms, but I didn't really feel like it was appropriate to go back. So that's why I've come out here to hang out with my good friend Flynn Flam. Finn Flam. And so I haven't been back since my active duty.
Okay. So we will pick up there in 2 weeks.
Okay. I'll come up with a name for my mentor.
thank you everybody for tuning in this evening. This has been our Friday night hangout. I'm Andrew Marlowe.
I'm Monica Marlowe.
I am thoroughly disgusted with us.
I am too. We are awful people. We are horrible people. We're going to hell. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Oh, there's no O on that.
Oh,
It's just Phineas Flanagan.
but that's okay.
That's okay.
Good night, everybody.